A few days ago, the Indonesian MOD posted an indigenous Manpads missile on social media. Named Merapi Missile, this locally developed Manpads is one of the few defense systems that I hope can be mastered and produced by Indonesia. What do we know so far about the Merapi Missile, and what potential does it have for military use? Let's find out in this video. Before we go into the Merapi Missile, first I like to talk about Manpads itself. Manpads, or Man-Portable Air Defense Systems, is defined as weapons that can be carried by soldiers to counter aerial threats like helicopters, drones, and aircraft. Because most Manpad systems are launched from a person's shoulder, it's often also called shoulder-fired surface-to-air missiles. The purpose of its creation is quite simple: how to equip infantry soldiers with deadly air defense weapons that can be carried on the battlefield without having to use vehicles. That's why most Manpad systems have a compact dimension. Its length is less than 2 meters, weighs between 14 to 18 kg, including other subsystems, has a firing range of less than 10 km, and a maximum firing altitude of less than 6,000 meters. Although these parameters are not that impressive compared to other air defense categories, this is enough as the quote-unquote the last umbrella for infantry units. As we all know, in dealing with aerial threats, infantry units are faced with difficult situations. Utilizing a heavy air defense systems is the most ideal, but their mobility will be limited. Whereas, the core of infantry strength lies in a combination of sudden firepower and agility. And in some cases, this agility or maneuver must be achieved without vehicle support, either due to terrain constraint or mission demands. On the contrary, using their individual weapons to counter such threats is impossible. Moreover, the advancement of visual imagery on aircraft and attack helos makes infantry units that take advantage of natural or urban cover vulnerable. That's why equipping infantry with an air defense system that can be carried by 1 or 2 soldiers is the best solution, and Manpads is the answer. It can be carried by infantry without significantly decrease their mobility, it has high flexibility, and more importantly, its operation is as easy as aim, track, and fire. Knowing the threats and benefit of Manpads, especially for infantry units, I was excited when I found out that Indonesia has started to develop its own Manpad system. Taken from one of the most active volcanoes in the world, the Merapi missile has been in development since 2018, initiated by the Army's Research and Development Agency or Dislitbangat and the Center for Integrated Research and Innovation of the Ahmad Dahlan University. Later, Indonesia's explosive manufacturers Dahana and the National Research Agency BRIN were also involved in the project. Cited from Indomiliter.com, components of the missile are being tested every year, with one of the most notable tests was in late 2021, where the performance of the rocket booster, the aerodynamic structure of the fin tail, canard, seeker, launch tube, and other subsystems were being tested and evaluated. Fast forward to October 2023, we finally get to see the Merapi missile again when the Secretary General of the MOD visited the Ahmad Dahlan University and got to see the research facility of the missile. I must say the missile on display already looks like a finished product, although it could also be a model. Merapi missile has a diameter of 70 mm and a weight of 10 kg, making it the same weight class as the American FIM-92 Stinger. And just like the Stinger, Merapi is designed as a fire and forget system too. From the test so far, the Merapi missile is able to withstand a G-shock up to 20 G, has a consistency of reaching a range of 3000 meters and speed of around 650 km per hour. Still cannot reach the range and speed of modern Manpads, but I think this is a good start. Unfortunately, that's what we know so far about Merapi as a system. What I can find on the internet is only limited to the missile itself. Even that's not all of it. We still don't know about the launch tube, the energy source to activate the system, the warhead weight, the detonation mechanism, and so on. Hopefully, as time goes by, we can get more detailed information about this system. Now, let's say Merapi is adopted by the Indonesian Armed Forces. Let's imagine what it can offer, in this case from the deployment aspect. First, from its basic function as manpads, of course, infantry units, especially light infantry units like the Airborne Brigade, their firepower will be greatly increased if equipped with Merapi. With 2 or 3 man teams operations, manpads team can be dispersed to defend units' perimeters or conceal to ambush enemy aircraft in their flight paths. Second, with many obsolete air defense systems that are still in operation in all military branches, swapping them with Merapi could be a quick and inexpensive solution. With just a light 4x4 vehicle as a platform, we can have an affordable Visorat system. The Army Mistral Atlas and Poprat can be a reference. Better yet, we can combine the Merapi system with a modern AA gun for a complete system against wide types of aerial threat. This new system later can be integrated with other air defense systems with a greater range to become one layered integrated air defense network. Lastly, if I may dream further, I want Merapi not only to be used as a land-based system, but by air and sea-based platform as well. Like for example, the Stinger missile became air-to-air Stinger or ATES for use on attack helicopters and drones, or Mistral, which not only has an air-to-air variant in the name of ATEM, but sea-based variants too. Like the Indonesian Navy, which operates the twin launcher Mistral Simbad and the quad launcher Mistral Tetral on their warships. Since its inception, manpads has broken the infantry limitations in the aspect of a platformless air defense system. When a platform-based air defense system can no longer follow the infantry's movements, manpads is expected to be able to answer the need for air defense weapons in such situations. More and more countries have been producing their own manpads, either independently or under license, so I'm glad Indonesia is now on track to become one of them. Of course, some challenges must be overcome, and it may take several more years for Merapi manpads to mature and be ready for production. But only with government support and government commitment, we can see these manpads created by the nation's children become a reality. That's it for today, Merapi and Indonesia's manpads potential. What do you think about Merapi? Will we be able to see it enter production? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching everyone. I'll see you in the next one.